Welcome to Retirement Ramblings. I'm Scott, and today is day 157 on my countdown to retirement. So this morning, I contacted NCL, and the agent placed a special request order for me to get the distilled water that I need while I'm on the cruise for my CPAP machine, as well as a special request for an extension cord. She confirmed that one would be available because apparently when they make these requests, it automatically decrements from a count that they have on board. So I'm all set with regard to those two items. So I was happy to hear that and happy to make that work out. I also confirmed with the agent that unlike other cruise lines, they have effectively anytime dining, no reservations. They don't have an early seating, a late seating like you would find on other cruise lines like Princess or Royal Caribbean, things like that. So we're good to go with that. Then I set up a call with a Bolden coach, and I was able to make that for this week before I head out on my vacation. So on Wednesday, I'll be meeting with a coach to review, my current plan and to make sure that I didn't do anything stupid and that I understand how the tool works, because there clearly are some things that I need to get answered. The cost of the coaching session is $250, which, if it provides me with additional confidence that I got everything right, for me will be well worth it. I'm able to have other calls with CFPs from both my insurance company and my brokerage firm without having to pay cost. And I've reviewed plans with them in the past, and I'll do that again before the end of this year when I retire to make sure that there isn't any gotcha with regard to my investment strategy that they see. A couple of the things that I'm looking to get answers for are that I don't know how to do in Bolden would be like, how do you model the future impact on taxes when one spouse dies? So you're going from married filing joint to single widower. That's going to throw you into a completely different tax bracket. So all the prior tax planning that you're doing in the tool, I need to figure out like if there's a way to model, because we are expecting to die at different times. Like, okay, if one of us passes this year, how do I then project forward from this year forward the tax rates so that I can model how to adjust my taxes pre that, after that, whatever. Also, how do I model the change in Social Security benefits as an example? So let's say that I predeceased my wife and I, have the higher Social Security benefit. She'll get my benefit, she'll lose her benefit, so that'll drop, let's say, the value of our monthly Social Security by, 50%. Maybe a different number, but let's just assume 50%. And so then how can I model that to say, okay, well now, she's got these certain fixed expenses. They're not changing, maybe food goes down a little bit, but like all the other things, your car, your insurance, like everything else pretty much stays the same. So like, how do I model that? I don't know how to do that in Bolden. And then the other thing that is kind of weird to me is inside Bolden, as part of your net worth calculation, it takes the value of your house. And then as I look through the various charts, and it tells you like what's happening in your net worth as you age and whatever. Well, the value of the house is going down. And I don't understand that unless somehow they're making an assumption like you're going to do a reverse mortgage, you're going to do something to take the value out of the house, which I don't plan on doing. So I want to make sure that if there's a way to, if they are in fact using the house, somehow the value of the equity in the house towards somehow, as an asset that you're going to liquidate to fund your retirement, I want to make sure that there's an option to turn that off because I don't want to be doing that. Right. So there's a number of things that I've thought through that I don't understand, and they're currently not built out in my plan because I don't know how to do it. So anyway, that's part of what I plan to talk through with the coach. Then I took my wife out for lunch to the American Deli. That's what she wanted. She wanted to get a cheesesteak sandwich there. So the place that we normally go to had been closed for renovation for a month. So, we'd been to other American delis because it's a franchise, but this particular one we used to go to on a let's say once a week, once every 2 weeks, something like that. Anyway, we went there. The remodeling that was done was like negligible. Like, maybe they changed out the wallpaper and hung a couple of like new American Deli plaques or something on the wall. But otherwise, it was pretty much, and it had a couple of updated tables. But generally, it was not much different than it always has been. But they raised the prices by on this meal that we got, which was two cheesesteaks with it was a combo, two cheesesteak combos, which come with a drink and fries. And it used to cost me $21.76 for the two of them with tax and whatever. And now it's like just under $25 for two sandwiches. And they changed the roll, they changed the cheese. From my perspective, it wasn't nearly as good. My wife thought it was okay. But that's almost a 12% increase in price in the month that they were closed for renovation. So that's, in my mind, exorbitant. Anyway, one of the things that was interesting was I watched at least half a dozen people come in, walk up to the counter, look up at the board, see the new pricing, and turn around and walk out without ordering. So clearly, price elasticity in this particular restaurant is not good. And, from our perspective, it's now reached a price point where we probably will not be going back, because there's lots of other places I can go if I want to spend $25 that get me, higher quality food that we like better, with better service, etc. So just something that was super disappointing. I mean, the sandwich itself was okay, but it was super disappointing experience to walk in and find that the price just got jacked up by that percentage in such a short period of time. Maybe I'm being nitpicky, but like, I don't get to go make 12% increases just because I feel like it, at my work or anywhere else. So anyway, just something that was annoying me. And then I contacted my mom's financial advisor today because she's cruising in Alaska, and she had some T-bills that are coming due tomorrow before she gets back. And so I let the advisor know what I thought he should do. I then copied my mom and my sister, and then texted them so that she could concur that that's what she wants to have happen, which she did. So he'll be able to make the appropriate transactions. And then I spent probably an hour drafting. I spent more than an hour updating all of our accounts, all of our passwords, whatever, into a encrypted file. And then I drafted a set of documents for my son that explains, how to access all of our accounts, where all of these important documents are located. In the event that his mother and I should both become deceased, the attorneys we worked with to put together our wills and things like that. So if he has any questions or he has any, estate-related issues, he has the names, phone numbers, email addresses of the attorneys. He has he has access to all the documents. Because we're going out of the country, there could be a catastrophic event since we're both traveling together. There could be a plane crash. You could have a cruise ship go down. We're going to Iceland. There could be a volcanic eruption. Like, there's all kinds of potential issues that, could cause a problem. I don't expect that, but, as a project manager, I spend my days doing risk assessments and mitigation plans. And so this is a risk. And so I wanted to make sure that I had drafted a mitigation plan that would make his life easier because in the event of something like that happen, he would have enough dealing with the grief from the event that having to deal with all the other crap that would then come his way is not something I would want to add to his plate. So while it's not something that, anyone looks forward to doing, myself included, I thought it was a worthwhile exercise to get prepared and, provide the documents in a secure place that he can get to, explain to him how to get there, and then, it'll explain all the things he needs to know in the event that both, my wife and I were to pass in a single event. If either one of us passed, but the other one did not, it wouldn't be applicable to him, so it wouldn't matter. Anyway, that's my update for today. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section down below or drop me an email at myretirementramblings@gmail.com. Otherwise, I hope you have a great evening, and until tomorrow, take care.